Hello, welcome to this Pilates Matwork on this Friday, August 13th. I am not a superstitious person. I just think it's cool when we have a Friday the 13th because then everybody's like, wah! So on this Friday the 13th, I thought it would be good to kind of come into my old class vault. I've got this big binder of different classes that I have done over the years of my teaching, and I have pulled one of those older ones out from June 2018 to bring you today. So that being said, we will use a stretchy band. And so remember, these come in different types of resistance. This is a medium one for me, just as an FYI. If you do not have a stretchy band today, you have a couple options, and I'm just gonna take this around here. We are gonna start standing. You can also use for some exercises a small hand weight. This is 2 pounds. I would not go any more than 5 pounds, okay? Because you want to be able to go over your head and you want to be able to move pretty smooth. So you're welcome to use one of these for extra resistance. And you can also use other things that you have at home. So that might be a bag of rice, a bag of beans, soup cans. That will also give you a little bit different resistance and some other exercises. For exercises where that's not possible, I will give you options to think about engaging a little bit more so you have a little bit more of that connection and just a little bit more resistance as you move, just so you kind of feel something similar to those of us that have the band and other things. So we'll start standing. We're going to start with this band just right around the neck so we don't have to bend over and grab it. So I'm going to recommend standing nice and tall. Now I'm just going to turn sideways here, just so you can see in the screen here a good alignment of posture. So you want to think about my feet are parallel, hip width apart, just meaning they're hip width apart to my bone. They're not about how wide I think my hips are. So they're right in line with the hip bone. Knees, ankles, and toes are facing forward. Okay? And then I want to think about with a little soft knees. So this is locked knees. Find some softness there. And can you think about the ears, shoulders, hips, and ankles coming into a relative good alignment, okay? Now, from here, when you're ready, I'm going to zip up from my pubic bone to behind the navel. So my belly button is in nice and tight. And I'm just going to take that chin to the chest. Good. As you take the chin to the chest, feel that nice lengthening and stretch down the back of the neck. And then on an inhale, I'm going to come back up. Good. Inhale. Exhale. Let's take that chin or your gaze for the ceiling and the wall knee. Good. And come back. So I'm working on my own habit pattern here. So many years locking out my knees when I stand. So you're going to see me make that adjustment when I remember to do that throughout this class during the standing series. And then from here, let's take right ear to right shoulder. Keep the left shoulder grounded. So I'm just going to turn back to you here. Good. And then coming up and left ear to left shoulder, stretching out that right side. Good. And coming back center. Good. Keep your shoulders and your sternum, your breastbone facing forward as you take head and neck left to right. I'm going to take it to the left and to the right. And left. And right, and left, and right. We're coming back to the left. We're going to do a little semicircle, drawing that circle with the chin. Coming back up to the right, maybe looking up slightly, and then taking it back down opposite direction. Now, I'm keeping a fairly continuous movement here. If you're working through this neck and you find a sweet spot that you would like to hang out in a little bit longer, then feel free to do so. Good. And then from here, I'm going to come back down, back to my left where I started, and taking my head back to center. Good. I'm going to grab my band now, and I'm going to thread this between my pointer and thumb. Now on this first one here too, I probably should have said this in the beginning, but also know at least on what we're going to do here, some of these things you can also use a belt. If that's better for you. Good. So I'm just going to have my palms facing down here for this grip. So wider than shoulder width apart. And then from here, just a little bit of tautness in that band. I'm gonna take that band up. I'm gonna come right behind the head. When I do that, I wanna use my core muscles in both the front and the back side, not to pop the chest up. So from a side view, I'm coming up. My belly button is in. This is how you want it to look. You don't wanna come this way, okay? And then from here, we'll take that down. Drawing up and again, we'll take that back one more time. Maybe you can tug a little bit more. Maybe you can reach back a little bit more. And then we'll move through center. Now I'm gonna start to work with a deeper rotation going to the back side. You want long arms to do that. So I'm gonna take a wider grip on my band so my elbows don't bend. And coming up, good. Take it to your limit. That might be where we first started. That might be a little bit more. And then coming back up, noticing already differences in maybe one shoulder and the other. Good. And just move. Maybe that's to the top of the hips, maybe it's not. Soft knee, soft tailbone, soft heart. Good. And then from here on this last one, take it to your sweet spot. So your sweet spot might not look like my sweet spot, and my sweet spot is not all the way back to the top of my hips. My sweet spot is right here. And I want to breathe and expand that rib cage on the inhales. And then we'll come up and we'll come down. Good. And just roll the shoulders back. And we'll roll forward. Good. So from here, I'm going to come back forward. We're going to open up one more exercise, Pilates Vitality Wheel, that I like to call it. So feet are again about hip width apart. Good. Find a little tautness in your band. Big inhale, taking it up. I'm going to rotate to my left. I'm going to reach as I bend my knees, coming down through center, moving through center, rotating over towards the right, and I'm going to come up and stretch, and then I'm going to reverse that. Belly button stays in. Is there anywhere as you do this that maybe you can get a little bit more stretchy in? Is that the side body? Is it the shoulders? Is it the chest? So I feel a little bit of a chest stretch right here. Good. And the last one, last time coming all the way up. And we'll lower this down. We're going to put this band on the ground for now. We're going to make our way to the mat. So I'm going to come towards the end of my mat here. Now I've got an extra long mat, so I don't necessarily need to come all the way to the end. So those of you that are newer or need a wider base of support, hips, knees, and toes are going to stay in this alignment. Those of you that are a little bit more experienced, you can step the feet closer together or together. Or most advanced, maybe you want to come to the Pilates V, which looks like this. So your heels, thighs, everything's connected, maybe about a fist width apart between the big toes. So I'm going to practice hip width apart here. From here, inhale, arms are going to reach overhead, but my shoulders are in their pockets. I'm zipping up from pubic bone behind the navel. I'm going to nod my chin, and I'm really scooping my belly button in as I round forward. Now I'm going to try not to hinge the hips back. It's better to bend the knees. Good. So as your hamstrings become looser over time, that'll become less of an issue for you. And then from here, pressing through the feet, get engaged in the legs from the tailbone. Peel up one vertebrae at a time. Now again, you want to try and avoid hinging the hips back. I'm going to reach, reach, reach. Maybe I open, open, open just a little bit here. It's okay for the heart to come open a little bit more here. And we'll reach. We're going to walk out to a plank on this one. So reach nice and tall, belly button in, round, round, round. Rolling down, one vertebrae at a time. When you're ready, you'll walk those hands out forward, find your plank. Knees can be lifted or grounded. Think about really pressing that floor away from you. Can you take the heart up into the shoulder blades a little bit more? If you're lifted, can you reach back through the heels? Breathe. I'm reading a little bit more through my knuckles of pinky back. Pinky, pointer, and thumb, but more to the pointer and thumb. And then from here, we're going to come back to the standing. So you can hinge from the hips. That's a little bit harder. Or you can bend from the knees as you walk your hands back towards your feet. Try to stop your hips over the ankles. And then from here, getting into the feet. And we're gonna come all the way back up. Reach, reach, reach. And we'll open. This time, we're gonna walk it out to the plank. We're gonna take a push-up, and then we're gonna stay down. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Belly button in, nice and tight. Nodding the chin. Really see, curve and squeeze. Rolling it down. And when you're ready, walking it forward. Find that plank. Now, you can do your push-up here up high. I'm going to drop my knees and modify for myself. Trying not to collapse through the shoulders, I'm going to take my push-up. I'm going to press. And then I'm going to drop the knees if you didn't do that already. And find a child's pose. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, I'm just going to walk this forward. I'm going to cross my ankles, and I'm going to make my way onto my back. Good. I'm just going to move. Have your band close by, but you don't have to grab it right now. So I'm just going to roll it back here. Good. Here's one of those times where I'm reminded that I really need to work on a lower ponytail versus a high ponytail. So from here, I'm going to roll my shoulders back. I'm going to wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to find my safe neutral for my spine. So not often talked about too much, but I'll talk about it here since I'm thinking about it. So safe neutral spine, and as a reminder for those that practice with me often, you want a heavy connected tailbone. You want the natural curvature of the low spine. Your low rib cage is also heavy and connected, and I like to also widen my collarbone here. So now I'm nice and wide and connected here. My belly button is in tight, and you want to think about the pubic bone and your frontal hip bones being in the same plane. So theoretically, you could balance your favorite beverage there and it wouldn't tip over. So you don't want the pubic bone to be up. You don't want the hip bones to be up. See if you can get that just a little bit more even. And then when you're ready, get zipping everything up. Think you've got a nice corset belt around here. And you're really drawing in like you're trying to zip up your favorite pair of jeans that you just got out of the dryer. So we're going to work on some pelvic curls here. Hips, knees, and toes are going to track parallel. Now, I'm going to come out of my neutral as I rock that pelvis back. Maybe you're closing that space. So a light closure, not a jammy. And we'll move forward back into neutral. And we'll take it. This is the posterior tilt. And forward into neutral, maybe going slightly beyond that neutral forward. Now you're in the anterior tilt. So moving back now nice and slow and connected. Posterior tilt, anterior tilt. Posterior, anterior. And posterior and anterior. Come back to center. We're going to go into bridging, and then we're going to come back to this again and add on. So from here, I'm going to rock my pelvis back. Now I'm going to peel up one vertebrae at a time as I come up into this bridge. Remember, your body will let you know when you should not come up any higher. I want to keep hips, knees, and toes tracking in this alignment. And then starting from the mid-back, think about lowering bone by bone. Belly button in. Moving through that posterior tilt and back into your neutral. And we're going to go again. So I'm going to rock it back. I'm going to peel it up. Peel, peel, peel. Good. And then from here, lower, lower, lower. This time as you lower, think about lengthening a little bit more from crown to tail. Good. Now, from here, we're going to add on. So I'm just going to take my heels and slightly closer to my glutes. Good. From here, starting the same way, rocking it back, peeling it up, one vertebra at a time. Once I'm up in my bridge, really get into your feet. Try to be even through the hips. And then from here, we're going to lower the glutes, the bottom halfway, squeeze the bottom and lift. And lower, and squeeze and lift. And lower, squeeze and lift. Lower, squeeze and lift. Belly button in. Lower, squeeze and lift. One more if you can. Lower, squeeze, and lift, 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 lift. And from that mid back, we're gonna lower that all the way down. Good, moving through the posterior tilt, back into neutral. We're gonna do one more thing here. Drawing up and in. Lengthen as we rock it back. Peel up, one vertebrae at a time. Good, find your bridge. Now this time, we're gonna do hip drops here. So, nice and tight through the abs. Good, even the pelvis to begin. Good, watch me tracking here, and I'm just gonna let that right hip drop towards the floor. And then I'm gonna even it up towards the ceiling. Now I'm gonna let the left hip drop, pressing through the left side as I even towards the ceiling. There's one step. Good, drop right, evening it up. Glutes are working hard here. Drop it to the left, evening it up. Here's 3, drop it right, even up, stay wide to that collarbone, to the left. Good, last one for 4, drop it to the right, even it up, and to the left, even it up, maybe lift just a little bit higher, and then starting from that mid back, we're rolling it all the way down, one vertebra at a time, coming back into that neutral. Once you've achieved that neutral spine again, take your knees into your chest here, give yourself a little break, maybe a little wiggle wiggle. Whew. Now from here, we're gonna get into a little bit deeper into the abdominals. We're gonna try and get deep into that transverse abdominis here. So that's your deepest layer of your abs. Good, so I'm pressing my feet back down. So this one, and I recognize this, and it's hard to see even in a class. We're gonna go to pelvic flops. So the main thing I want you to think about here, and one day I might do a little tutorial on this one, is you want to feel this very deeply. So here's my navel, my belly button. Here's my pubic bone right here. You want to feel this deeply in the abs, right in between there. So if you feel that connection, then you've reached half the battle. The second thing is we're looking for that control. So yes, you're going into a little bit of a clock in one direction and the other, but we're not doing this big motion here, okay? So you're using your abs to control that motion. So it may not look like to you at home that I'm moving at all. It's very, very small. All right, so I'm gonna roll my shoulders back. I'm preparing here, wiggle, 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 find that safe neutral. Think about your navel being 12 o'clock, your pubic bone being 6 o'clock, your right hand, that might help if I was doing the right side. Right hand's gonna be your 9 o'clock and your left side's gonna be your 3 o'clock, okay? So keep that in mind, just like a clock face. Big inhale, exhale, rock that back, 12 o'clock, posterior tilt. And exhale, take that back to 6 o'clock, slight anterior tilt or neutral. And take it into 12, and 6, and 12, and 6. From here, last time, take it to 12. Good, nice and tight, find your connection. We're gonna go to the 3, 6, 9, 12. 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12, 3, 6, 9, 12. Pause. Take it in the opposite direction to 9, 6, 3, 12, 9, 6, 3, 12, 9, 6, 3, 12. Last one, 9, 6, 3, 12. Rock, rock back and forth. Let head and neck rock with you, reminding you everything is connected. And then when you're ready, taking those knees into the chest. And we'll rock, rock, rock side to side. Good. From here, when you're ready, you can roll over to your side. If rolling like a ball is in your practice, you can take that here. So you can hold on to the shins or hold on to the thighs. I'm going to curve it up, nodding my chin, and I'm using my breath and my core to rock myself up. I'm not using momentum by swinging my legs here. And coming all the way up. Good job. Taking those legs long. As we're here, let's just take a nice little forward fold. Let that low back stretchy just a little bit here. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, we're going to come all the way back up. We are going to grab our trusty band, and I think it's a little bit easier to put this together when you're seated versus trying to do it on your back, because we're going to come onto our back here for a moment too. So I've got my band. I want to make sure that that band is nice and flat around my feet, and maybe even a little bit here under the heels. So I'll just kind of move this way just so you can see that. So you want it a little bit under the heels. Now, I like to not cross my band here when I'm doing this exercise that we're getting ready to do. Some people like to wrap the band around the feet. You'll start that the opposite way. The band will come around the top of the feet, and then you'll kind of wrap around that way. Some people, and a lot of this also depends on the length of your band, like to, wrap around a little bit here. It's all about where are you comfortable, where are you in control. The main thing you want to think about when the band is around the feet, that you've got it in such a way that it is not going to bunch up, roll, snap, and hit you in the face. That happens, you're going to have a very bad day, okay? So make sure that you're secure down here if you're using the band. If you're going to use some other props here, you can go ahead and come down. If you've got a belt, you can come down with that here too. But from here, that's how I'm going to do this. And then I'm just going to let that band really kind of just assist me through a little bit of a roll down here. Good. And bending the knees in. Good. So from here, I'm going to just then let my feet and legs come right together. Good. I've still got that band around the heels and around the feet. And then from here, I'm going to start taking my knees into my chest. My elbows and upper arms are going to come long, low here. They're in tight towards the body. My belly button is in. And we're going to lengthen. And with control, come back in. Now, if you don't have resistance here, think about really engaging your legs. Think about counting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, coming back in. You want to try and find equal resistance on the end, just like you have the resistance on the out. So you don't want to press resistance out and then just snap your knees back in. If the band becomes too much, lose it. Good. Watch your spine. We're trying to stay in that spine neutral. So if you take your legs long and you start to feel that pelvis move into that anterior tilt position, you'll know because your back won't be real happy with you. Then take your legs higher as you do this and come out of there. The lower you take your legs, the more challenging you make it, so long as you can stay in spinal neutral. We're going to come back in here. I'm going to reset my feet. We're going to come into Pilates V. So my heels are going to be connected. I've got about that fist width apart between the two toes. So just so you see, you're in that slight external rotation. Knees are going to be in alignment with your shoulders. And then from here again, we're going to take that long. Legs are going to zip up. And then they're going to bend. This is also known as frog. Don't forget to breathe. Good. Legs might shake a little bit here. That's okay, as long as there's no pain with that. Steady rhythm, steady pace. Good. And now from here, I'm just going to bend my knees in, and I'm going to hug, hug, hug. This might be a different transition for some people. Now, I did say in the beginning it was easier to reset this when you're sitting up, and you can always come back and do that. But I carefully took one foot out. I took my left foot out because I don't have my band wrapped around my feet. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to stretch this out, and then we're going to use this band for some circles. So remember, nice and flat here on the foot. You can find any grip that's appropriate for you, so that might be here. You might have to kind of hold it in a different way. And then both hips being in alignment, I'm gonna take the band behind here, and now I'm gonna get a nice stretch. So you can also do this with the belt. If you don't have either, you can take your hands behind the leg and gently tug in. My belly button is in tight here. Good. Now I'm gonna lengthen. So I'm going to use the band for these circles today. You certainly don't have to. I'm going to take both bands into my right hand. I'm going to keep my leg in parallel. So toes, knees, and hips are going to face to face. You can extend the left leg long or put a little bit of a bend in it. And then rolling the shoulders back. Tight core connection. Hips aren't going to leave the mat today. You can take that out. Take it around. Feel that little extra resistance and come up. Good. Now, I'm taking big circles here. If you're more of a beginner or you're having trouble keeping both hips on the floor, take smaller ones and then build yourself up. I am crossing the midline of the body. And when you've done about 6 to 8 here, or your magic number somewhere in that parameter, we're going to reverse directions. Good. So working that synovial fluid real good into that hip socket. Getting good mobility in here. And when you've done about 6 to 8 here, or your magic number. Good. We're going to bend in. Good. So I'm going to choke up a little bit here on my band. Good. So from here, I've got my knee in a little bit, so I'm not quite at tabletop, but my foot is in flexion. And what I'm going to do here, and actually you can separate if you want to do that, and I'll probably just do that. We're going to single leg press, and we're going to control it on the end, and press, and control it on the end, and 2 more, and press, and bring it in, and press, and bring it in. Good job. I'm just going to do a nice, gentle, careful switcheroo of my feet here. So again, nice and flat with that band. Your right leg can be bent or extended long. We're going to go into that stretch first. Find what you need with your grip, and then we'll just take that nice hamstring stretch. So my leg's pretty straight. I do have a micro bend in this knee, so it's non-locked. And if you don't look like me, that's okay. That comes with time. Breathe and expand through the rib cage. Good. And then we'll release. Good. I'm going to take both bands into my left hand. I'm going to extend my left leg a little bit longer. I'm keeping a micro bend in it. That's what I need, but you can take it all the way long. Good. And then when you're ready, drawing up and in. Good. Remember, both hips stay grounded, both shoulders stay grounded. Just take those little circles. Again, you might have to find and play with where your grip needs to be. Both hips stay grounded. Smaller circles if you need more control. So this is kind of a leg exercise. Think about more of it being a core exercise because you have to use your core to stabilize the hips. Otherwise, they go all over the place. Once you've completed about 6 to 8 here in this direction or wherever it is that you're going, we're going to reverse that direction. This is a nice one to play with too, with different rotations of the feet. You can do it with toes, knees, and hips turned inward, the medial rotation, toes, knees, and hips turned outward, the external rotation. Each one will feel a little bit different, and your range of motion is going to be different. Okay. And then from here, when you're ready, we'll bring that back in. Okay. So I'm just going to do this the way I did it on the other side. I'm going to take a band in each hand. I'm going to bend that knee. Good. So a little bit more into the chest, a little bit less tabletop position. Driving through the heel, driving through that glute, and we'll press. And we'll control it on the end. And here's 2. And 3. and 4. Good. And then we'll come back in. I'm going to release that band. Good. So once more, from here, let's actually get a full body stretch. Reach, reach, reach. And then when you're ready, I'm going to bend both of my knees. I'm going to roll over to my side and take myself back up. Good. So from here, we're going to go through a few little things here. We'll use the band with these as well. So have that handy, and this will be one for weights, cans, rice, whatever you're using here. So heels will come as wide as your mat, or slightly wider than hip width apart if you're not practicing on the mat. Come into an anterior tilt of the pelvis, so tailbones coming behind. Hip bones are rocking forward, feet are in flexion, soft knees if you're a tight hamstring person here. Good. And then from here, I'm going to take my arms forward. I'm drawing up and in. Think about that anchor and tug of war. You've got that rope around your waist and you're folding over. Good. As you fold forward and around, think about ears and biceps coming into alignment with each other. So your gaze might be right between the knees. And then from the tailbone, I'm going to articulate that one bone at a time, stacking. Come all the way back up to that tall sit. We're going to do that 3 more times. Inhale, exhale. It doesn't look like a lot, but it is. My body always builds up a little bit of heat when I do this exercise. And I like to inhale as I come back up. Exhale on my round. Good. And I think we've done 4. I'm not quite sure, but it's okay if we do 5. These are good for the body. So we'll just do 1 more just for good measure, just to make sure. It's a running joke in the Pilates world that we don't know how to count, that we always do too much or not enough once we get going. And then from here, you can relax. Good. From here, I'm going to bring in my band. I'm going to take my feet in just a little bit more. We've stretched out the back a little bit here. Now we're going to work a little bit more upper body and core. So I'm going to take my band, again, flat around the feet. If you're going to use a different kind of resistance, you'll bring that in here. And sitting nice and tall for this first one, rolling the shoulders back. Good. Adjust your grip. The more you grip towards your feet, the harder you'll make it. The more you grip towards the end, the easier you'll make it. Make sure the band is flat. And we're going to pull straight back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Elbows are in tight towards the body. And relax. And we'll pull and squeeze. And relax. Palms are facing each other. Pull and squeeze. And relax. Pull and squeeze. And relax. Good. From here, I'm going to keep a long spine. I'm not going to round in a C curve. I'm just going to hinge back. How far you hinge is dependent on where you're in control, where your feet don't fly up and you're not going to fall over. So now our belly button is engaged. I'm looking forward, and then we're going to take that pull again. So pulling in and release. Really engage the belly button here, the abdominals as you pull back. And we'll pull and release and pull and release. Stay here for transition. That's going to be harder. Come back up. I'm just going to cross my straps. Good. Good. So now I've added a little bit more resistance by crossing my bands. Everyone else, you're just going to do another round if you've got the different an object that you're using here. I'm going to pull straight back and come in. And pull and come in. Pull, release, pull, and release. Take it forward, fold for a moment. We're going to go into some twists here. If you are using a band and you've got osteoporosis or something similar to that going on down here, I would master this without the band first before adding on the band, as it can create a little bit more pressure that you don't want down here. But from here, I'm going to hinge back, long spine. My arms are forward. I'm going to rotate and open to my right and coming back center. Rotate, open to the left and center. Open to the right and center. Belly button nice and tight. Open left, center. One more time. Open right, center, left, center. And we'll come back in. I'm going to release the band from my feet. So I'm going to take my feet back, hip width apart, or as wide as the mat. Good. So this time we're going to go into solve. I will show this to you with or without the band. So without the band, arms are going to come here. We're going to rotate. You're going to reach around and lengthen. Think about sawing the pinky toe off with the pinky finger. Both hips stay grounded. You'll come back up, reset center, and then you'll take that to the other side. Okay? So that'll be your move. Those of you using the band, we're going to take it right here. I'm going to rotate. I'm going to anchor. I'm going to reach. And then I'm going to lift and come back to center. Rotate. Reach. And come back center. Rotate. Reach. Come back center. Rotate. Reach. Come back center. Good. Now, from here, we're going to add on that with the band. We're going to do a chest opener here. So I'm going to rotate. I'm going to anchor. I'm going to reach. My back hand stays anchored. And I'm just going to open and take that across the chest. Careful not to choke yourself. And take that back up. Round. And come back center. Rotate. Anchor. Reach. Take the arm up and open. And come back and reach. Good. No band, people. We're going to take that same way. Back hand's still going to anchor. As you open, you just don't have the resistance with it, but you can still get the stretching. Fold and come back up. Same thing. So whenever you're ready, if you're not doing it already, I shouldn't say whenever you're ready. We've been doing these. Good. Come back. And come to center. Good. I'm going to place the band to the side for right now. We are going to carefully roll down, and we're going to get back into some traditional Pilates core work here. So you can bend the knees, you can have the legs long, you can reach your arms long. You find where you want to take your roll down with control. Good. And once you're down there, we're going to take the knees into a tabletop position. So knees over hips, shins parallel to the floor. If those of you that are more advanced, you can take your legs long into diagonal. The lower you go, the harder it is. You want to stay in that neutral spine though. I'm going to demo right here in tabletop. Arms are going to come up towards the ceiling. Belly button is in nice and tight. Big inhale, exhale. See, curve it up, not in the chin. Your gaze is right to the thighs. My arms are long and low. I'm lifting up my shoulders and shoulder blades. And I'm pumping little pumps here. And my inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, lift higher. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, reach deeper. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, belly button in. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale, pause. Again, lift higher, reach deeper if you can. And carefully take that down. Wiggle, 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 side to side. Gently take head and neck from side to side. Good. From here, when you're ready, we're going to take the legs back in a tabletop, single leg stretch. Finding neutral. Arms up, big inhale. Exhale, see, curve it up. I'm going to take my right knee in, left hand to the knee, right hand to that right ankle. Left leg's going to reach long. I'm pulling in and reaching opposite directions. And I'm going to switch. There's 1, 2, 3. Hips stay grounded. 4, 5, 6. Take a break. Can you go for 7? 8. Take a break. Can you go for 9? or 10. And bring the knees in and rolling it down. Good. Single straight leg stretch. Legs are going to come up towards the ceiling. And for a moment while we're up here, just point and flex through those feet. Good. Roll those ankles in one direction. And then in the other. Good. And then spread the toes wide and squeeze them together a few times. Good. And then from here, whenever you're ready, inhale, I reach. Exhale, I'm going to C curve up. Eyes are to the thighs. Arms are long and low. This is going to be advanced people. You're going to go into more of a scissor movement. Everyone else is going to follow me. I'm going to take hands behind the left leg. Right leg's going to come along. Pulsing the left leg. Pulse, pulse, switch. Pulse, pulse, switch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Take a break. Can you go for 7? Can you go for 8? Can you go for 9? Can you go for 10? Woo. Bend those knees. Take that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Now remember, if you're up in the C curve doing these and you can't keep tension out of your neck, lower the upper body. If your core is still engaged, you are still working, but it makes no sense to stay where you have tension and can't get rid of the tension. The headache at the end of the day for that, because of that tension, is not worth it either. Speaking from experience. Double straight leg stretch. I like to start this one with the knees on the inside. Inhale. Exhale, I'm going to C curve. Inhale, I'm taking it long. I'm sweeping the arms around as I bring my knees in. And here's 2, 3, 4. Take a break. These are harder. Keep going. 5, 6. Watch your neutral spine. Take the legs higher if you need to. 7, 8, 9. Woo. And 10. And lower that down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Take head and neck from side to side. Good. Double straight leg stretch. Legs are going to come back up towards the ceiling. Some people like to sit on their hands here to help their pelvis stay in alignment. Some people don't need that. So again, be mindful of staying in neutral. So if the back starts to arch, don't take your legs as low. Beginners, upper body will be grounded on this one. Those of you that are a little bit more advanced, you can have hands behind the head, reaching forward, being up in the C curve. So you be where you need to be. I'm going to reach my arms forward. I'm going to be in my C curve. Big inhale. Exhale. Inhale. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll change the breath. Inhale. So that's wrong. We're going to inhale on the down, exhale on the lift. Good. There's 5, 4. That's 6 actually. Here's 7. Sorry, I know I can't count. And 8. Take a break. Maybe you can go for 9. Maybe you can go for 10. Woo. Bend those knees and come down. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Gently take head and neck from side to side. Crisscross. I will show this to you from 2 different ways. Beginners, your feet are going to be on the ground, or those of you that just need some less intensity, hands are going to come behind the head. Elbows are going to come out wider. They don't have to be as wide as possible, but wider. We don't want them to be up here by the ears. You're going to draw up and in. Hips are going to stay even to the floor as you lead with left shoulder and rib cage towards the right. And then you'll take that to the left. Okay, everyone else, knees in tabletop. Think about the legs doing the single leg stretch that we did, that first one that we did. From here, when you're ready, big inhale, exhale. Reach, knee comes in, and we switch. Hips stay grounded. Here's 2. 3, really rotate. Think about the obliques. 4, 5, 6, take a break or keep going. Maybe 7, 8, 9, and 10. Whew. Take that in, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. We're gonna come into a little bit of a twisty stretch here. Take your arms out to the side, knees and tabletop. Let those knees come over towards the right, maybe looking to the left. Breathe and expand. Head back to center, one leg at a time. We're using your abs to bring both knees back to center. Wiggle, wiggle for a moment to reset. Good. Moving my blanket out of the way here. And when you're ready, knees to the left. Maybe looking to the right. Head's gonna come back to center. One leg at a time. We're using both knees to come back in. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. One more time, take those feet long. Reach, reach, reach behind you. Full body stretch. And then from here, you choose rolling like a ball or rolling over to your side to transition. So I'm gonna roll like a ball. I'm using my core, I'm using my breath. I'm not swinging my legs. And coming all the way back up. Good job. From here, we are going to, I'm just going to kind of sit to the side here. So we're going to go into a little bit of some mermaid work and sideline work and then work our way around. My goal is to end with some upper body stuff there. So I've got my feet towards my left. Okay, so this can be really however you're comfortable here. There's not a rule against that. The hip that is towards the left or your top hip, whatever hip this is for you, think about energetically taking it down a little bit. For most people, it is not going to come all the way down, so don't worry about that. Just think about taking it down a little bit here. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale, I'm going to side bend towards my left. Reach, reach, reach. And take it down. Taking it over. And move through center. Taking it over to my left. And moving through center to the right. We're getting ready to change this up, taking it back to the left. And as you come to the right, you can hang out here and do a little bit of a rotation, or maybe both hands can come down in this rotation. For some of you, this might be enough. For others, I'm just going to shine my heart just a little bit more forward. I'm going to get into my body, making sure that that feels okay. So no funny business, no crunching, tingling, numbness, anything like that. And then I'm just going to bend and push up. So a little baby tricep push up here. You can also maybe make the argument, this is kind of a different swan variation here. And then last one, we'll lift. Opening back to center, take it up, counter stretch over, you can stay here, maybe a little bit of a rotation towards the feet. Good, and coming back up. From here, when you're ready, I'm just gonna take this down to my side. Good, I'm gonna lie on my arm here, but you are also free to add more challenge coming up on the forearm. Just make sure you're lifted, you're not hanging, and if you're coming up here too, you want to be lifted through that rib cage. So you don't want to hang down here even though you're not hanging in the elbow. So you want to be lifted. So be where you need to be here. Good. I'm going to bend my bottom knee. I'm going to reach my top leg long. I'm making sure I'm on my hip bones here. And then, actually, we did this last week with flex foot. Let's take this into a point. So from here, I'm going to lift, go to your limit, and lower. Think about really lengthening from hip to toe. Lift up through the pelvic floor. Good. I think this is 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. From here, come back hip with a hip height. I'm going to flex that foot. I'm going to bend that knee in I'm gonna lengthen, think about a bicycle coming back and you're bending on the end. Trying to keep hip height the whole time. It's more important how far back you go to get that hip flexor stretched than it is about how far forward you take it. Let's take one more. Good. From the back, we're going to reverse that. We're going to take it in and take it back. I probably did that first one incorrectly. That's okay. Good. And then when you're ready, just kind of take that foot in here. If this isn't accessible to you, just take this knee in here. Just kind of pat this out. Extend the bottom leg. Really reach nice and long. And then from here, 6 little pulses. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. When you're ready, we're going to use this as a stretch. So I'm going to carefully, maybe with a little bit more grace, come up to a seat. I'm going to hug, hug, hug. And then we're going to switch those feet around to the other side. So we'll do mermaid tongue over here. Good. So find your feet, your knees, how you need them. Anchor down that hip just a little bit more. Big inhale, reach and lengthen. Exhale. Oh, let's go to the side. That's how we started the other side. Nice side bend. And moving through, taking it to the left. Reach, reach, reach. And to the right. And to the left. And back to the right. Getting ready to change this up. Take it to the left. Some of you, again, you might stay here. You might add just a little bit of rotation. Some of you can get the other hand down. That's great. Think about shining the heart a little bit here, rolling shoulders back. This might be enough for some. Make sure everything feels good in that back, those hips. And if it does, you can take those little push-up variations. Good, one more. Good, taking it up. We'll open to the side. We'll move through center, taking it back over, a little rotation here if you want it. And then when you're ready, taking that down for side leg work on this side. Find what you need, the forearm, lifted shoulder, lifted side body, or you can come all the way down. Bottom knee is going to be bent. Top leg's going to reach hip height, nice and long. And then from here, 8 times, we're going to lift and lower. Really reaching from hip to foot. And 1, 2, belly button stays in. 3, 4, really squeeze. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Good. From here, lengthen. Here we go with that bicycle. I'm going to bend, take it forward and reach, taking it back. Watch the hips. Use your core to stabilize. Good. I think this is 8. Good. Take it back and reverse. At least I think I'm reversing here. And once you've completed 8 here, you can bend this knee in. Right here, you can take the foot, extend the leg nice and long. 6 little pulses. And when you're ready, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And the best way for you, carefully come up. Good. Find that little hip stretch here, pulling it in. Good. And then when you're ready, we are going to come onto the knees. We're going to bring our mat back in here. Now, this is where it can get tricky for those of you that need a little bit of knee cushion. So I do have a blanket here to show you. You can also do this with a bath towel. It doesn't have to be a special blanket or anything like that. It could be any blanket. So I'm just kind of unfolding mine about like this. Some of you might not need that much. And then once I've got that, I'm gonna take my band. I'm gonna lie this band nice and flat here. And I'm gonna take my knees on top of this band. Okay, so you wanna make sure you've got equal part band as much as possible out to the side here. And then you're gonna come up. Okay. So again, you can wrap here if you want to. Those of you that have weights or another kind of resistance, this is how you're gonna pull it, and you're just gonna pull straight up. So from here, find your grip, rolling the shoulders back, and you're just gonna pull straight up. And look. Think about lifting up through the pelvic floor. Get elbows in. I can do that just a little bit better. Good, one more time. Good. From here, I'm going to release my right band. My right hand is going to grab my left band, and I'm going to cross pull. So big inhale. So those of you that have a weight or something like that, you're just going to shift this over, and I'm going to pull. Good. Now you want to try not to go into rotation here. So try to be nice and wide. Just watching the time. Good. Belly button in. This is rotator cuff work, so be mindful. Good. And then from here, when you're ready, you can release that. Good. Pick up the right side now, left hand onto the right side of the band. Drawing up and in, and when you're ready, good. 6, 8, or 10. Go to where you need to go. When you're ready here, this is my weaker side, my side that likes to be injured all the time. Good. So this next one is a bicep curl, and you can also do this one standing as well. It does matter how large band is, but you're going to do the same thing. Feet are just going to be on the ground instead of the knees. But from here, I'm going to choke up just a little bit here. Good. Elbows are in. I'm going to start long, and I'm going to curl. And I'm trying to keep hips, knees, and hips in alignment. And I'm trying to pull equally. So you might notice one arm wants to kind of come up a little bit more faster than the other. Try to be symmetrical. Elbows in tight. Good. Let's turn that out a little bit to the side here. Elbows stay into the side. Just a little bit of a different bicep curl. Good. And then when you're ready, you can release those. Good. You can sit back here if you want to, or you can just stay here. I'm going to take my right arm forward. My left arm's going to come underneath that forearm, and I'm just going to give it a nice stretch. Good. Taking that right arm up, reach, 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 bending the elbow. Left hand's going to come on that elbow, getting the tricep stretch. You can tug however it feels good to you. And then from here, I'm just going to take that arm out to the side. Palm's going to face, so my palm's facing you, and then I'm just going to turn it behind. A little bicep stretch. And when you're ready, other side. So now, left arm's going to cross over, right arm's going to come underneath that forearm, give it a tug. When you're ready, release, take that arm up, bend, nice tricep stretch here. You're still breathing, we're not holding the breath. And then when you're ready, taking that arm out, turn the palm behind you for bicep stretch. Good. And then from here, whenever you're ready, I'm going to clear my space, come onto all fours. Good. From all fours, we're going to go right into a plank pose. So I'm going to step one leg back at a time. Knees can also be grounded here for a moment. Notice how this plank feels different than the first one you did. Could we hold 10 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bending the knees or hinging the hips back. Walk those hands back towards those feet. Stopping those hips over the ankles. Little micro bend in the knees if you need to. And this time we're going to ragdoll up. So arms are just going to kind of just relax here. And then getting into the feet, starting from the tailbone. Pressing all the way through. Shoulders, chin, and head are relaxed to come up. Reach, reach, reach. Let's open, open, open one more time. Good. And taking the arms down, rolling those shoulders forward. Rolling those shoulders backwards. Good. And then from here, whenever you're ready, see if you can do a little posture check. So you might have to turn yourself sideways in your device if you're watching live or check in the mirror. But think about once more, ears, shoulders, hips, ankles, a little bit of softness in the knees. And try to keep that good posture for the rest of your day. And until I see you again. Thank you so, so much for practicing this Pilates Matwork class with me, a little different with the band. And I hope to see you again real soon. Have a good day.